The purpose of today's video is to make you know and understand the importance of values and also show you how to identify your values and adjust them accordingly. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place that inspires you and I to be better versions of ourselves through animated book summaries, tips, information and through my personal experience. Today I'll be talking about values and why they matter. When you type values definition on Google, the first thing you see is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And the second definition you see is principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. These definitions are self-explanatory. Our values channel the course of our lives. They determine what we take seriously and what we don't take seriously. We make decisions based on our values, and we all know that our daily decisions shape our lives, our destiny, and our future. So if you've not given some thoughts to your values, please let's do it together today. You'll be glad you did. I also want you to understand that values are shaped by our environment and our upbringing. Don't beat yourself up when you discover you've been living by unhealthy values. Rather, switch them with better values and stick to the new ones. Let me share a story from the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. By the way, I have a video about this book where I share the top lessons I got from it. Check the icon above and also the description box for the link. Alright, the story. In 1983, a talented young guitarist was kicked out of his band in the worst way possible. His band was on their way to fame after being signed to a record label. So of course the young man was pained, but got over it and vowed to start his own band. He decided that his new band would be so successful that his old band would forever regret their decision. His name was Dave Mustaine, and his new band was the legendary heavy metal band Megadeth. Today, Mustaine is considered one of the most brilliant and influential musicians in the history of heavy metal music, with his band selling over 25 million albums and touring the world. Unfortunately, the band he was kicked out of was Metallica, which sold 180 million albums worldwide. Metallica is considered by many to be one of the greatest rock bands of all time. And because of this, in a rare intimate interview in 2003, a tearful Mustaine admitted that he still considered himself a failure, despite all he had accomplished. On the other hand, there was another musician who got kicked out of another band, a similar story to that of Mustaine, which happened 2 decades earlier. His name was Pete Best. Within 6 months of Pete's firing, the band by name Beatlemania had erupted and making the musicians the most famous faces on the entire planet. Of course, Pete fell into depression and never became a global superstar or made millions like Mustaine. Years later in an interview, Best said, "I am happier than I would have ever been with the Beatles." Like, what the hell? Apparently, Best's awful circumstance made him meet his wife, which led him to having children. His values changed. He began to measure his life differently. Fame and glory would have been nice, sure, but he decided that what he had already was more important: a big and loving family, a stable marriage, a simple life. He also made music locally. For Mustaine, he valued revenge and unhealthy comparison. So you see, our values determine the course of our lives. They determine how we define our experiences. So how do you identify your value and change them for good? The only way to identify your value is to be self-aware. Mark Manson called it the self-awareness onion in his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The book is basically about values. I recommend it for everybody. So according to Mark, there are layers to self-awareness. The first layer is a simple understanding of your emotions. This is where you try to identify what makes you feel a certain way. You begin to say things like, "This makes me feel sad. This is when I feel happy. This gives me hope. I feel happy when I achieve my goal," and so on. The second layer is the ability to ask why you feel certain emotions. This layer of questioning helps you understand the root cause of the emotions that overwhelm you. Once you understand that root cause, you can ideally do something to change it. This can be difficult, no doubt, but it's necessary. The third layer is even more difficult. It delves into your personal values. This is where you ask questions like, Why do I consider this to be success or failure? How am I choosing to measure myself? By what standard am I judging myself and everyone around me? And so on. Honest self-questioning is difficult. It requires asking yourself simple questions that are uncomfortable to answer. But the more uncomfortable the answer, the more likely it is to be true. I'm currently examining myself on why I have been clashing with my kid brother. And honestly, the results have been uncomfortable. But I'm realizing some things about me that are wrong. But the good news is that the awareness has helped me to begin to work on those values. So I urge you to be true to yourself. Tell yourself the truth and ask yourself important questions. Remember, my mission here is to make us better versions of ourselves by improving ourselves. And self-improvement is really about prioritizing better values and choosing better things to care about. So how do you know when a value is good or bad? Good values are reality-based and are controllable. They come from within and don't require external sources to be executed. For example, honesty. Honesty is something you decide within you to do. It's under your control. On the other hand, bad values are socially destructive, not controllable, and require external sources to be executed. For example, fame. You don't have control over fame. It's determined by people you don't even know. And because of this, you are likely to do whatever the society requires of you to become famous. More examples of good values are innovation, creativity, vulnerability, health, love, family, standing up for oneself, standing up for others, humility, and so on. While some examples of bad values are pleasure, riches for the sake of being rich, being liked by everybody, not being alone, attention, speed, feeling good at all times, etc. I hope I achieved the purpose of today's video, to make you understand the importance of values and show you how to identify your values and adjust them accordingly. Let me know in the comment section if I achieved the purpose. Also, please add to the list of good and bad values. Like this video and share with your friends if you got value. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It goes a long way. I have decided to do animated videos throughout this month. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. See you in these next videos to get more inspirations on being better versions of ourselves. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.